Welcome to the Deal Champs podcast. I'm your co-host, Mr. Stratton Brown, aka Strat Daddy. We have the master of hair with us, Mr. Jason Pritchard, and Captain America, Mr. Dean Rogers. Real quick about ourselves. I have scaled two different companies to seven figures using virtual assistants, and I have a seven-figure real estate portfolio, primarily of storage facilities and single-family houses, all through owner and creative finance. We have the master of hair, Mr. Jason Pritchard.
Master of Hair is in the house. Hair is out today. Thank you very much. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the people that are joining the live stream now. I can see you guys on IG. Little bit about myself. Worked in corporate America for 15 years. Quit my job in 2014. Have not looked back since then. And over the last 10 years, we've flipped 400 houses. We've got a rental portfolio of 100 units. And like we always say, the purpose of this podcast, all the events that we put on, everything that we share on social media is to try to transfer as much value as we can to you guys that are watching. So hopefully you guys get some value today out of us just kind of chatting and recapping the things that we've learned and took away from the Deal Champ Summit that we just finished this weekend. So looking forward to talking with you guys about that.
All right. And we have Mr. Captain America. He tried to give me a new nickname, but it's not quite better than Strat Daddy, Mr. Dean Rogers.
What was it again? I'm trying to remember what it was. The master of questions. Yeah, you asked the best questions. I tell you what, there's no better question asker. And that might sound weird to somebody who is hearing that for the first time, but a good sign of intelligence is knowing how to ask good questions to people that are at levels that you want to get to. And I continue to admire your ability to ask super valuable questions. So guys, Dean Rogers here, your other co-host, transitioned from the NFL to corporate and then into real estate. Been investing in real estate for just over a decade now in Central California. We've done over 600 plus deals, rental portfolio that's growing. It's getting really close to $10 million now. Got several new rentals that we're buying right now. Coaching students on how to get started with wholesaling. And you guys can always connect with me at deanrogers.com.
All right. Dino, I don't know how tired you are. Jason was fucking toast like 2 days ago. Today, I feel like I got hit by a fucking Mack truck.
Well, dude, there was no break for me. As soon as I walked in the door, I started getting handed kids. And then the day after, we drove 6 or 7 hours in total time in the car to San Diego. So, yeah, man, it's been nonstop since then. And now we're just trying to play catch up on all the things, just getting so many people reaching out to thank us for the event, sponsors that are thanking us for the event, speakers, attendees, just the outpouring of support and good feedback is what is not necessarily what we're looking for, but it's nice to get that and get that validation that what we put on and put out there was received very well. So feel very proud of us and what we were able to do.
And I guess real quick, guys, thank you so much for everybody who showed up and actually supported. We had an amazing turnout, and it wouldn't have happened really without the Deal Champs community.
100%. Yeah, I think we got great support from our local community, and it's growing. We got people that flew into the event. We got people that drove 6, 7, 8 hours to the event. And I think we've all stared each other in the face and just feel like this is just the start of something big.
Yeah, can't say enough about how the community has showed up. We've been pouring into it for a lot of years, and it's just really cool to get that reciprocated back. This was a lot of work, a big risk on our part, going out there and doing some of this stuff. And it's just confirmation that this is the way that things are moving, man. This is what people want. And it makes me even more excited to do something bigger and better going into next year. I feel like we all felt like pulling this off was really cool, but I think next year's, and now that it's done and the dust has settled a little bit, I'm excited to start planning next year and thinking about what we can do for next year. I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And if you are watching this and you came, I'd love to see a comment of what you think we could do to like top this year, next year. We were on a call with Jason the other day, and essentially anything extravagant, I'm trying to throw it into the budget for next year's event. I have some ideas that we can throw into the parties.
helicopters.
Oh, bro, it's happening.
Fire throw, yeah, everything,
Yeah,
dude. We had all kinds of stuff going on.
flamethrowers,
And flamethrowers, everything, dude.
a marching band.
Bro, oh hell yeah.
Could you imagine a marching band? That'd be pretty legit.
I can, bro. Imagine a marching band walking us in down that fucking hallway. Oh, bro, you got me going. You got me going.
I got you going on a new thing.
But real quick, let's start with like our biggest takeaways.
I got one right now, Strat. Someone just said here on my IG said more shirts. Laugh out loud. They need more shirts.
Bro, we do. We talked about it. It's on the list.
More shirts from the shirt gun.
It's on the list that we needed more shirts because I had to start being conservative. I need more CO2 bottles and I need more shirts.
Yeah.
We got a comment saying nothing. It was amazing. I'm excited to get started. Hell yeah. And then Chang, thank you all for hosting. It was great. Guys, again, we love your support. My biggest takeaway overall, because I'm the youngest one out of everyone, and I think I'm 1 or 2 years younger than Austin, is every person there who was on stage or was a hitter had been in the game for over 10 years. And is really thinking in the long-term game and being okay with it happening slowly. Even though 10 years is pretty fast, it doesn't feel fast when it's happening. That was my biggest takeaway. Because, I mean, Sam, Austin, Nick, Amy, who else? I mean, I don't think there's anybody there who would not been in the game for at least 10 years.
Yeah, I think it's a process, dude. It says a lot, I mean, about what you can do. I mean, I think going in initially, when you look at 10 years, if you've never done this business, it can feel like a long time. I know, Dean, you've been in it 10 years. I'm getting ready to hit my 10-year mark. It feels like for me, this 10 years has gone by like this, dude. Like, I mean, literally, it's been like a blink of an eye. And I think you can look at just the progression that happens, even with our events, dude. We were talking with, I think, Lori Buffington in the hallway. You guys were there with me, and Lori was there when we were putting on events, and it was like 8, 9, 10 people in a room, dude. You know what I mean? So it was really kind of a cool full circle moment to see her there, because she has been coming to the meetup since the beginning. And just like anything else with our real estate business, these events, you can apply that rule towards anything, guys. It takes time. You know what I mean? And I think Tony Robbins has a really good quote. I think most people overestimate what they can accomplish in a year, but they underestimate what they can accomplish in 10 years, dude. And I think this is a really good example of that event. 7 years ago, we were doing this without any type of idea of what the payoff was going to be, maybe not a clear goal. And look at what happened this weekend, man. So overall, it was really cool. Really cool to see all that come out.
Shout out the Bitwise basement crew. Very underestimated. But there was a handful of people there who've been a part of the Bitwise basement. We've all been there. Well, you remember the lunch meetup, dude? The lunch meetup at Bitwise basement?
Yeah.
That's where I got started.
Yeah.
And this is how far we've come.
I think for me, my biggest takeaway, this was universal across almost every single speaker. We all said this multiple times from the stage, and everybody else that you talk to, that you look up to and respect. The one word that I think that came out of it was relationships. And we know how important and pivotal relationships are in our business. But I think every single speaker in some variation basically said, I started coming to events like this. I was the person that was sitting in the back, and it's the relationships that I've made coming out of these type of events is what changed my life. And I think that's true for all of us. You know, Dean came from Fortune Builders. You and I, Strat, came from some of these like smaller meetup groups, right? And I think as a new investor, it's really hard to kind of quantify, like, okay, relationships, what does that mean? How do I start a relationship, and how do I do that? And you start by going to these things and find who you connect with, and like who you vibe with and who you're aligned with, right? And you take that relationship and you nurture it in real life, right? You can't just shake somebody's hand, get their Instagram information, and then that's it. You got to connect with them afterwards. You got to take them to lunch, take them to coffee, and just see if there's some synergies that are there. But every single person across the board said relationships change their life. And that's a big reason why we spent the time and effort and money putting those events on, is so people can get there and they can connect and start building some of those relationships. That was a big takeaway for me.
Yeah, there's nothing. Go ahead, Strat.
And I just wanted to carry on the relationship thing. If you're wondering how, one thing I'm really big on, when I meet someone, I comment on all of their Instagram stuff, and I just do like you guys see my little dancing man. I just comment that at the bottom of it. I put 3 of them just to let them know I see them. Right, like, hey, bro, I'm here. I'm supporting you. Either that or let's go. And you'd be amazed at how far that goes in that relationship, just to acknowledge what they're trying to do.
That's right.
There's nothing like being aware of what people are doing, maybe connecting with them on social media. But when you can get in person and have that transfer of energy and you can start sharing with each other, there's nothing like that establishes and solidifies that relationship. I know there's a lot of people over the years that I have met on social media or kind of been aware of those people. But once you finally meet in person, you have that face to face, you have that handshake, you have that, that hug, that homie handshake, whatever it is, it makes that relationship that much better, that much closer. And to your point, Jason, when you can take that then outside of the event and continue it, that's when things start to really form. There can be partnerships, there can be deals done together, there can be private money exchange, there can be all sorts of opportunities. There could be just connections. The connection could lead to another connection. That's one of the things I love to do is when people reach out is to not necessarily have all the answers or to have the solution or to necessarily be the one that provides that service. Sometimes just connecting to the other person is one of the, things that feels so good. And that person will remember that. Man, I remember how so-and-so connected me there. So it's really important to be at these events. If you didn't make it to Deal Champ Summit, we're sorry you couldn't make it, but man, you have to be at the next one because these events are life-changing. We say it all the time, but it could be that just one person that gives that nugget of information, or that one person that opens up a door or an opportunity for you. I remember hearing from several people just some life-changing moments. I couldn't believe all the people that wanted to lend me money. I remember meeting several people that wanted to lend me money. I heard that from someone while I was there. I heard, oh my gosh, that one thing was so inspirational and I'm re-energized to go take action. I mean, the stories just continue and continue. And that's why you have to be at these events.
Bro, did you guys meet the guy who met his wife at our meetups?
What?
Yeah.
I'm going to his wedding, dude. I'm going to the wedding in June. It's in June. Beto. He was at the party afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah. He was
honestly, that's pretty wild, dude. Like, it's such I had 5 or 6 people ask me, like, why do you guys do this stuff? Like, what's the point of the event? What's the goal with the event? All of that stuff. And I think, obviously there's business goals and things that are attached to doing stuff like this. There's branding. It's just name recognition, that type of stuff. But what's more important, and I think we're all in agreement on this, is the impact that you have on people. Like for me, there is just no better feeling than changing the trajectory of somebody's life. Now, that person is going to have to do the work, but I know all of us can speak to people where our fingerprints are on the life-changing trajectory that they've had. They've taken the information that we've applied to them, and it's really cool for me to observe that type of stuff happen. That can be them finding business success. In this example, dude, you're talking about the guy that's getting married. Like to be able to say like, hey, dude, we came to one of your guys' things. I met my wife. And then be like, hey, can you please come to my wedding? That's really cool, dude. That's like a really, really cool feeling, man. And so I know all of us have had lots of impact like that. And I think, it's a big driving force behind why we want to be doing this more and bigger and better in the future. Because I think we can just impact more and more people over time doing it, man.
And we've said it multiple times, but every single speaker there, myself, Dean, or you, met at an event. Just by going to an event, networking, building a relationship. And that's been over the last, for me, like 6 years. So
without us going to events, it wouldn't happen, right?
At the beginning, dude. Say that again, do you know?
I said, without us going to events, we wouldn't have the speakers at our events.
There's no way we'd have the speakers there that were there. And if you're like worried about it and you're new, I know it was Nick and someone else who I met when I just started my journey. And then I built a relationship with them over, 6 years. And they came and spoke at my event. And so don't be
Yeah.
afraid if you're a new person to like go speak to the guy who you want to speak to. And like just again, ask him questions. Because I'm telling you, they will pour into you. No, every single person on that stage is a great human, and there are really no assholes in the game. Like you think they might be an asshole, but everybody wants to help you.
Not that we invited, at least.
Yeah, we make sure not to invite any. But you're
And
right,
select.
dude. I feel like you'd be really surprised. I think there's this perception when you're new that it's like, oh man, this guy's never going to share anything with me, or this guy's not going to be nice, you know. And my experience has been almost the exact opposite, dude. You told that story about Nick when you were talking with him when you were like brand new.
Yeah.
And he made you feel like, dude, I was the only person on the bus, and he was pumping you up like you were the guy there, dude. And like that's, I think, the approach that we take when we meet new people. And I think that's probably the majority of the experiences that we've had, dude. In reality, most successful people that we meet at events like that will take the time to sit there, be engaged, answer your questions. You just got to get outside of your comfort zone and ask, man. So yeah, no, it's a really good point.
Couple of people to shout out here. Chang says, thank you all for hosting. It was great. Crystal says, don't change anything. It was amazing. I'm excited to get started. Anna, it was a great event. Thank you guys. Anna's always supporting us. Chang says, biggest takeaway was relationships and 11 out of 10, turning back the B switch back for health, wealth, and family. Thank you guys. Chris says, awesome event. Chang says, thank you for being go-givers. And then Chang's got a good shout out for you, Jason. Jason, you changed my life. When I was at my lowest, picked up one of your properties doing Lyft. You told me the story, and 6 months later, after losing my job, I bought my first rental property. You've changed my life and my family.
I forgot about that, dude. Oh, that's right. I did. I remember you did pick me up in a Lyft, bro. And I remember having a really good conversation with you.
Bro,
we
that's
stayed
wild.
Connected over social.
That's
That's
cool.
freaking wild, dude. That's really cool, man. I remember that exact conversation. I forgot that that's how we initially got connected. And I just want you to know that I'm proud of you, bro. I feel like all of us try to have that type of impact on people, and you should be proud of yourself for doing the work and putting in the work. And that's the reason why your life is changing the way that it is, man. So salute to you, bro. Thank you for coming and supporting the event.
Got another one here in Instagram. Such a great event. God bless you guys for helping us all. Another one from Sam. One thing I do differently is make it on Saturday and Sunday instead of Friday or Saturday. I'm going to ask you guys about that in a second.
Let us know.
It's crazy. It's crazy when you think about the impact, Jason Estrada. Like, there was one of the guys. He's actually the guy who won the 2-day boot camp, Eric. I remember he came to our free workshop that had 225 people, which is crazy to think about it, on a Saturday in January. And I remember him coming up to me and saying, "Hey, I'm Eric, the guy who's been DMing you on Instagram. Because of your help, I finally got my first deal and I'm closing it right now." He was closing it with another person in the community, Ephraim, and he was making tens of thousands of dollars on that deal. Again, like, some people take it for granted, but we're so happy to just help people and just put that out there and be a go-giver, like Chang said, because you never know what impact you're going to have. And we know that people helped us along the way. So it feels really awesome to be able to make those kind of impacts, and it's fun.
I don't think a Saturday, Sunday would go over well. And I know for us, I want a day in between. Like for me personally, I want a day after the event so I can recoup.
Right.
I'm curious to hear, for those of you guys that attended and that are on the live stream, send feedback like that. Would you prefer Friday and Saturday? Would you prefer Saturday and Sunday? I think we all are probably in agreement that it's going to be a 2-day event again next year.
Yeah.
But we want to hear your guys' feedback. That's what's really cool about these type of platforms, is that we can engage with you guys right now, take that feedback and apply it. So drop a comment, let us know. Friday, Saturday, Sunday for next year.
Shanae says Friday and Saturday is great. It's hard to know because I see a lot of different events. I see some events on Monday, Tuesday. I see some on Thursday, Friday. Friday and Saturday feels like a good mix of being able to catch people who are able to take off work or are already doing this full time. Chang says it was good. I had Sunday to really reflect. I think that recovery day is really nice.
Everybody in IG and my IG is saying Friday and Saturday. Friday and Saturday seems like it. I tend to agree. I've got a nugget as far as takeaways from somebody in my IG channel from Josh Smith. He was in attendance. He said, I forgot who said it, but the quote was, you don't have money problems, you have personal problems. And he was talking in regards to mindset.
I think that was Nick.
Who was that again?
It was Nick.
Josh Smith said this. He's following along on the IG stream, and that was his takeaway. But the quote was, you don't have money problems, you have personal problems. I love that quote. I can't remember who said it either.
I think it was Nick, bro.
Yeah.
Was it Nick? I'm trying to remember who it was, but I do remember that quote stood out to me too. It was like, dang, when you put it like that, that's pretty interesting, because if you're not putting yourself, you're not doing the personal development, you're not putting in the work, the effort, and you have money problems, well, then that's a personal problem. You're the reason why you're not in a better situation. You're the reason why you're not earning more, why you're not able to take care of your bills, why you're stressed out and tight and up against the fence. You got to get out there and put in the work. The opportunity's there. The opportunity's there for everyone. That's why we're in this great country of America, whereas other countries don't have any of those opportunities. Doesn't matter whether you want to do the work or not. So that was pretty powerful.
And a big thing, and I don't like coaching newbies, because the biggest thing that you have to overcome is that mindset and like that self-work and like actually believing that it's true. Because like everybody doing deals is no different than you, but the big difference between just doing the deal and actually seeing it come to fruition and the mindset work that goes into actually believing you can do it is massive.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yep.
The mindset is tough, which mindset was talked about, right? And I think a lot of people, Adrian crushes into that. Lame was crushing into that. Stratton, I'm looking at your content. You already have content up from the event. Look at you, man.
Yeah, my guy's on top of it, bro. And I'm actually really happy with it. He was like, bam, out on it, on top of it.
Good for you, dude. Love it. So what should we talk about next? Should we talk about the speakers? Maybe go down the lineup of speakers. For those that didn't attend, watching this live or watching it back, we had an insane lineup. I mean, serious players. I'm pulling it up right now to look at it. We at the very top, we had Mr. Brent Daniels, TTP, Wholesaling Inc., Talk to People. I mean, he always brings the heat. I know a lot of people were excited to see him there. And a lot of what he talks about is that, like, guys, this is simple. We just need to be talking to people. Everything else needs to get out of the way. We just need to go talk to people. We need to be making offers. Don't overcomplicate it. A lot of us are trying to figure out all the details that don't matter until you have an actual business that's doing transactions regularly. Don't worry about that. You just need to go talk to people, whether it's other people in the business, wholesalers, realtors, cash buyers, or sellers. And my preference is always to talk to sellers.
I love and as we're talking through this, guys, for everybody's on the chat, I see lots of engagement on my IG and on the live stream. Let us know, since we're talking about speakers, the speakers that you guys want to see potentially at next year's event. Plant those seeds now. Drop some names of the most wanted people that you guys like to see at the Deal Champ Summit next year, and we'll start reaching out right now. So feel free to drop that. To piggyback off what you said, Dean, this was a common thing amongst almost all the speakers too, what you just said about Brent, about the simplicity of what this is. I think most people try to overcomplicate this business. They want to make it more complicated than it is. And Brent said that. I know Nick said that. This was a common thing amongst everybody. We all feel this way. It's like, it's actually, real estate investing is my vehicle of choice because it isn't overly complicated. If you can add and subtract and multiply, divide, and you're not afraid to talk to people, I think you can find success in this business, dude. I'm not the smartest fucking person in the world. I'll tell you that much. I feel we all don't feel like we're, elementary like math. We're not anything. There's nothing special about us, guys. There isn't anything special about us at all. We're just regular people that weren't afraid to take a chance and bet on ourselves. And I think you don't need to make things overly complicated. It's first things first, figure out how to find a deal. And once that happens, the other pieces of the puzzle will start to manifest themselves for you.
Yep. All right. Next speaker we had Nick Perry.
Shout out Nick though for wearing the glasses like I asked him to.
And the cowboy hat, dude.
And the guys, he doesn't wear the glasses. I had to ask him before he goes on stage to wear the glasses. Like, all right, bro, it's your event.
He really owned it so good too.
He owned it so good, bro. He's awesome. What was your biggest takeaway from Nick? Mine was like you can really build something to be very out of touch. I mean, 3 or 4 questions Nick couldn't answer. He's like, you got to talk to my COO, and I think that is an amazing thing to say, an amazing place to be at, to where some people didn't get their questions answered. It's like, honestly, bro, I don't know. I haven't really been in the business for 3-4 years.
Yeah, I think with Nick, it's a good example of there's going to be speakers there that speak to people at different stages of their business, right? And we can't just have somebody that comes on and just operates at a super high level that's kind of out of the day-to-day. You have people that are newer, that are operators. I think Nick shared a lot of stuff that's good for guys like us or people that have a business, but they're looking to grow and maybe put some systems and some people in place. There were some really good nuggets there. And then there was some basic fundamental stuff from like guys like, you know, I know Brent was kind of saying stick to the basics and things like that apply towards people that are newer. So I thought it was a good approach that talked to everybody in the audience.
Yeah. Question here from Crystal. Do you suggest signing up for coaching to do a first deal or just fun deals? I almost signed up for the boot camp, but I don't have business. I have real estate experience, but not in wholesaling. I'll go first on this.
Yeah.
This we had people come up to us and ask this question, and here's the deal. When you invest in yourself and you take the time to work on your business, whether you're just getting started or you're experienced, you are going to have transformational move forward in your business experiences while going through that. And whether you're looking to do your first deal, your next deal, or scale your business, by investing in something like our boot camp, you're going to get what you need out of it, right? As long as you show up, you come ready to learn, you come ready to be coachable, you come ready to share openly and honestly where you're at and receive feedback, and then take that feedback and apply it, you're going to be better off than where you were before. And if you think about the opportunity that's in front of you, Crystal, what would the value of doing one deal be? That one deal could be $10,000. It could be $20,000, $30,000. There's some people, their first deal is 6 figures, right? So what is the value of making an investment and going to something like the boot camp? Well, if you apply what you learn, then in theory, as long as you're not going to give up, as long as you're going to stick with it and stay in this business, you said you have real estate experience, as long as you're willing to learn and apply what you learn, then the value, the personal development that you're going to get, the tools and the resources that we're going to provide are going to be applicable to not only the real estate you're doing now, I'm sure, but the real estate that it seems like you want to do. So my takeaway on it is, and I answered the similar question to others that did sign up, is look, you're going to come sharing what you need help with right now. And if that is your first deal or your next deal, or whether it's you're looking to scale, we're going to have the feedback and provide you the roadmap to get to that next step, that next level you're looking for. So if that is something you're wanting to do, you want to be in real estate investing and have that additional, arm to your business you have now, then the value is there for you, and we'd love to have you.
I have a little bit of a different answer. If you're looking, you need to evaluate what you want your life to look like. Because like if you just want to fund deals and you want to be the bank, that's one thing, and that's another great option for you. If you want to wholesale, that's another option for you. But it's like, what does wholesaling look like? What does that output look like? What does lending look like? And then get really, really clear on what you want your life to look like in 5 years, and then make a decision from there. And that makes it a lot easier to ask, like, should I go and do this? Should I go and do that? Oh, I meant find deals. Way easier then.
Yeah.
Way easier. And then I would tell you should probably get a mentor. I've paid for tons of mentors, And the luckiest thing that happened to me is that Alan honestly took me under his wing for about a year and a half, and I got an MBA in real estate. Like that was worth that's worth hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Crystal said she wants Nick's life. She wants to be in is it Cabo or Cancun? Which one was it again?
Cancun. I think it's in Cancun.
Yeah. Wants to be in Cancun, unaware of what's happening with the business, but still driving more. And yeah, Crystal, if you're looking to find deals, that's what we specialize at. If you're looking to, learn how to negotiate these deals, evaluate the deals, put the systems in place. Look, this event, this boot camp that we have in 2 weeks from now might be the most important next step that you need to take, because look, is the information that we're going to teach stuff that you can learn elsewhere and in many cases for free on YouTube. Yeah, nothing is brand new. We don't have some like new AI bot that no one's heard of that we're going to implement or something like that, or some robots that are making the phone calls or typing on the keyboard for us. But like the fundamentals of what we teach can be learned elsewhere, but the implementation is where people fall short. People go onto YouTube and get lost. They get information overload. They don't know which strategy to apply because there might be 10 different conflicting videos talking about the same topic. So what we are doing, what we know works for our students, what we know works in our community of other people we network with, is what we'll be teaching. So if you want that more hands-on experience, then that's what you'll get.
You got anything, Jason?
No, I agree with everything that you guys said. I think knowing and understanding that what Dean just said right now is basically what I would emphasize, right? The information is out there. You got all the information at the event. It's the implementation, the execution, and the accountability. That's what, and speed, honestly, too, is the other thing. A lot of times, and we've realized that as we've gotten older and invested into masterminds and higher level stuff, you're paying for speed. And like, I'll use myself as an example. I did YouTube University, and I did it on my own at the beginning, and it took me almost a year of trial and error and failure and almost quitting. I don't know how many times before I got my first deal under my belt, right? And I could have just sped that whole process up by just doing something like this to but to give me the stuff that I needed to implement right away, and then take my learning curve and go like that. So
yeah, and it's like this though. It's not even like this. It's like immediate. Yeah. The compression time when you get the right people in your life that show you how to do it is honestly a game changer.
Really quick about the speakers. I know we were talking about them. I'm curious to hear, I don't know if we have to do favorites, but I think the guys that really resonated with me and the audience specifically, I guess I'll share that. I think a low-key Ryan Dawsey. I had lots of people come up and say how impressed they were with Ryan. That was I've followed Ryan for a very long time. I've always liked his delivery and his approach. I feel he's like very authentic in the way that he shares his message on social media. And he got vulnerable on the stage too, dude. And I thought that was really cool. And I think Pat said that. We've talked about that a lot. People want to know not just the wins, but also the challenges, dude. And I think Ryan did a really good job of sharing both sides of that. And I thought he was definitely one of my favorites. Sam Prim did a great job. Austin did a great job. I mean, everybody did a great job, but those are the names that I kept hearing just from people that were in the crowd, as far as the people that they walked away with the biggest nuggets, man. So shout out to all those guys.
I had somebody say they came to tears after Ryan Dawsey spoke.
Yeah, like Ryan's really touched with a lot of people because it's the reality, I think, of the game that nobody really talks about.
Yeah.
Who was my favorite? My favorite part was Shamus going up and never once mentioning what he does.
That's crazy. Yeah.
So good, right?
Shamus. Yeah, dude. And isn't that the truth, dude? Like, and I'm sure you guys have seen this now. It's like our business, especially. It's like the people that look like they have all the money really don't, and the people that don't act and look like they have the money are the ones with the most of it, dude. And Shamus was one of the guys that was probably the most unassuming speaker, the least flashy speaker, the guy that, like, you don't look him up on IG and it's just hit after hit of all these things, dude. But the guy is freaking doing monster things, man. And I love you know, we had a really good time backstage, just kind of talking with him while he was holding court, sharing some of the stories that he was, you know, be able to get a guy like that caliber up there to kind of talk and share and connect with, dude, I thought was really cool.
He's working on macroeconomics.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Like he is playing macroeconomics. That's the game he plays. International business. Dossie, I thought Austin sharing, it's really, really hard to share going on a private jet and not have it be a flex.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and like share it
and he shared that story perfect.
Of like, this is like what I've been able to do for my family, and this is why we're in the game. To where a lot of people don't think it's possible, and like they think like, oh, I don't want to be flashy. Scott said Austin's grandma made me cry. Like it was a super powerful story. And so I love that aspect of it. Man, I just thought all the speakers were so genuine. We got to know them a lot more than you guys did. Everyone was a great human. Go ahead, Jason.
I can't post my IG comments from the live, but Josh Smith said, I met Shamus in line for coffee and he wouldn't say what he did. He saw he was a really cool cat. He even bought me my coffee, but he refused to say what that's how humble the guy was. He's there to speak for the event and wouldn't even talk about the stuff that he was doing. Is just buying everybody in line coffee at the whole entire casino. So yeah, that was good, man. Shout out to Shamus for coming up.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had RJ Bates, the king closer. We had Adrian Hernandez, Austin Rutherford, Sam Prim, Amy Majori, Lame Kinney, Anthony Sandoval, Ian Horwatz.
Lame crushed
all
the
of them, man.
mindset, and then RJ's sales stuff is fire. If you guys are watching this and you need help with sales, go to his YouTube channel. His YouTube channel has some absolute gas on negotiations.
Yeah,
it is really, really good. We put our team through it at times.
So yeah, biggest takeaway from the speakers was just that all of them brought something different, you know, which was really cool. You might just assume that everybody's doing the same thing. You might assume that everybody's going to say the same thing about, oh yeah, I'm just so great, closing all these deals, making all this money. But everybody brought something different, a different way to look at it, a different tactical thing to apply, a different mindset thing, which I just thought was really cool. Everyone's going to get what they want out of coming to an event like this, whether it's the motivation, whether it's the tactical implementation type of stuff, whether it's the connections, whether it's opening your mind to new opportunities and new strategies. And that's what I think is so cool and powerful about going to these kind of events. And man, we had so many of them too, right? We had 3, 6, 9, 12. We had 13 speakers, not including ourselves. That's a packed house. All of them were hitters too.
Let's hit some Q&A. What questions do you guys have? I'm trying to think of anything else I'd want to cover. And I want to know what speakers you guys want. Someone said they want Pace.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Chang popped in, said he'd like to get Pace. Pace would be great. Let us know if you think Pace would be good, guys. He was here a few years ago. If you're ready for Pace Morby to come back after a couple years, let us know.
We talked about it live at the event. I can't remember if it was just Stratton and I, or I think it was just Jason and I, or all three of us. But the combination of me and one of you, or all of you, said that'd be cool to get Pace and his wife to come speak, because Laura Morby was this close to speaking at the event.
Lost out on him, bro.
This close speaking at the event. And remember when I had Pace on my podcast, I told him that, and he was stoked about it. He was like, dude, that's so cool. That's amazing. And he even said, I might show up just to come support and be there to support her. But I think their Squad Up Summit was so close, it just was too conflicting. So they had to rain check that. So
I like this comment right here, Scott. Ryan Pineda, the ultimate flex to get his speakers, then have him be our speaker. Yep. I'm on board. I'm on board. Thank you, Scott, for fueling my ego.
Yeah, I think it was pretty wild and cool when both RJ Bates and Sam Prim both reached out to me and said, hey, Ryan Pineda said he wants me to come speak. What are the dates again? And I said, these are the dates. Oh, that's on the same dates. I'll just tell him I'll speak at the next one. That's a pretty good flex to to have Pineda be like, oh man, I gotta wait because they're at Deal Champ Summit. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, lots of positive feedback for Pace and Laura in the IG, in my IG. I think everybody wants Pace and Laura, so we'll put Pace and Laura at the top of Laura Morby at the top of our list. I think that would be great combination for the next.
What other speakers? My thing is, we've gotten every single big name in the country. Like, there's not.
You know what? Hey, I'll throw this out. I'm actually curious because we've had discussions about this too. So for those of you guys that are in the chat, let us know what you like. Let us know if you want all real estate related stuff. We've toyed around with the idea of getting, I think, what we would all consider like a bigger name speaker, like in the lines of like an Ed Milet or Tim Grover, Bradley. Are you guys wanting stuff like that at these events? Are you wanting some of those big names, like high profile influencers? Are you guys thinking that you'd rather just do more real estate related stuff? I think now that we've done this once, we have kind of an idea of how it works and all that stuff. So let us know. Let us know. Andy Frisilla. Somebody just Nelson Cantu just dropped Andy Frisilla would be
Bro,
huge.
Andy Frisilla would be my dream.
That would be pretty sick.
We have to be friends with Andy to get Andy to come speak is the hard part. We'd have to be friends with him.
Well, that's our job. We got to go make a relationship with Andy now, dude. That's how it works, bro. We got to go figure out how to
Tim Grover.
plant those seeds.
I'd be a fanboy if Tim Grover came and spoke. Like, I'd be a massive
I
fanboy.
love Tim Grover. Yeah, Henry said Bradley would be fire. I like Brad too. I think it's like that closing main speaker slot would be cool to fill with somebody there, as long as we could make it all work out. That would be pretty awesome.
I think Pat Hilton has the hookups with relationships too. He could help broker some of those conversations and open those doors. Because, dude, he's been backstage with just about all the top names that we could even dream of, having been MC for a lot of these events. So I think that could be really helpful for us.
And are you getting anything on IG, Jason? Any other speaker names?
Just lots of comments. More about the speakers. Donald Trump. Josh said Dave Ramsey. Henry's wife Michelle said Jen Pritchard. Maybe we'll get Jen to come on and maybe say a few words or something on the next one. I don't know if we can convince her to come from behind the scenes and maybe get on stage. We'll see about that. But yeah, dude, let us know if for those of you guys that are streaming along, if you guys want to do any Q&A, if you have any questions, speaker names, anything like that, feel free to drop them into the chat and we can go. Grant Cardone, lots of speaker names.
Grant Cardone would be nice. That'd be a pretty good one. Couple comments here. Daniel says, too bad RJ had to come and mess it all up. He said, laugh out loud, joking. All love to RJ. Sam asked, how many people will be at the boot camp? I'd say probably a couple dozen people will be at the boot camp. And we're debating on how to maybe break it up too, right? We talked about that, whether newer and advanced. There's a couple different ideas we have. Simone says, who is this event for? So if we're talking about the boot camp, we're talking about the person who wants to have that implementation of these strategies, these ideas, so that you can have hands-on work to work on your business. So we're not only going to teach you the things that we're doing that are making us successful in our business, we're also going to be the second day working to help you apply what changes you need in your business. You tell us what you're working on, what you're doing, and then we're going to tell you what changes we would make. So we're going to be working on your business. If you're talking about the Deal Champ Summit, it's for everybody. Everybody should come to that event because just the networking, the information you receive, the inspiration that you receive, all of that is going to help you in your business. So yeah, those are the other comments.
I could probably get Tim Bratz to come out.
You could probably get Tim Bratz. Morgan says Ryan Pineda would be cool. I agree. That would be awesome. She also says the Lattes and Lisa's girl. So I met Miss Lattes and Lisa's girl at a speaker training I did. And I think originally I had asked her through Amy Majori, who had brokered that relationship. She was like, I'm busy at that time, which is true. She was. But when I met her in person, she was like, okay, I'm down to do the next one. So I'm almost certain, as long as she's not booked there in that time, that she'd be down to come.
Lots of love for lattes and Lisa's. I have a few people that just
Really?
chimed in off my IG that are streaming.
Okay.
Was
it.
she committed to coming to this and then couldn't make it, or just the schedules didn't line up initially? What did you just say right now, D?
No, yeah, her schedule originally did not line up from the get-go. Amy had put me on a text with her, and she was excited. She was checking it out. She was trying to double check if her schedule would allow it, and it ended up being no. And then I met her after the no, and then she was like, "Oh man, I kind of want to like make it work," but she just said, "I would have to break a promise elsewhere." So she more or less promised for the next one, which would be great.
All right, we will lock her in. I say all three of us will commit to locking her in for the next one.
Yeah,
That's it.
Totally agree.
I have 1 down, 10 to go.
That's right. Scott says Donald Trump. That would be killer.
Maybe give us a couple years, Scott, and we'll see if we can get El Presidente.
I think Donald Trump will be down for the Deal Champs Summit.
Bro, it fits his vibe. He's about extravagance. He's about being a champion. He's all about the deals. He has a book about the art of the deal, bro.
Yeah, dude, he's made for this.
He's fucking made for it, bro.
Yeah.
If there's any real estate event he's going to, it's this event.
We got a request for Zuber, Michael Zuber. We got to get Zuber back as a speaker, I feel like, for the next one
agree.
too. He was
no doubt
there
about
with
it.
us, helped us kind of get started on these big ones. Shout out to Michelle from Grander Home. She threw Zuber's name in there. I was thinking about that. He had a conflict, I know, on this one, couldn't make it down, but I think next year we'll add Zuber to the short list of speakers.
I totally agree.
We got like 5 minutes left. Anybody else have any questions that they want?
Yeah, let us know, guys, if you've got any questions or anything, Q&A, big takeaways. We just wanted to hop on here and share kind of our takeaways and just our thoughts after coming off of this 2-day event while everything is still fresh in our mind. Yeah, it would be really cool.
How did you guys like the venue? And how many of you guys didn't come day 2 because you got too drunk and started gambling?
Yeah. Do we need to start later on day 2? I feel like everybody went too hard on Friday because we had a packed house on Friday, and then we had a lot of stragglers coming in for the 9:00 start time on Saturday. So the venue is awesome, but it leads to those type of problems where you're up late, you're gambling, you're right there, and then hey, everybody sleeps in. So yeah, let us know if you want a later start date for day 2.
Fernando on my IG also asked, will the event always be in Northern California? So on the same topic.
For now, yeah.
Yeah.
I think next year for sure it will be home base for us. We love that space over there. You know, Fresno's our backyard, so we've got a big, support system and community that we've built here. So I think for us, we want to keep providing to that community. And then who knows in the future, man, I know our goals are to think big, and I think this is something that we can continue to grow and maybe take on a larger scale, maybe nationally, to go to some other places and maybe do once a year here, and then maybe do it other times, other parts of the year at other locations. So yeah, get the message out there, share everything that we do. Guys, let us know.
Would you guys consider doing it outside of California? Because I'm thinking if we went bigger, where would it be? Would it be the Bay Area? Would it be Los Angeles? Or would it be like an international destination like Las Vegas or something? What do you guys think?
I talked about Vegas today, and they said it's tough to do one in Vegas because you lose everybody to the casinos. Like you'll sell a bunch of tickets, but then again, everybody turns into a degenerate and starts gambling. And day 2, everybody's drunk.
I saw.
Yeah. Everybody
when I got done from the networking on Friday and I was walking through, I saw a lot of attendees at the gambling tables and doing something. Oh, this person's not going to be there. And yeah, this person's not going to be there at 9:00 tomorrow. But it's good. I'm glad they enjoyed themselves and got something out of it.
I think LA would be huge. I think LA would be really good.
LA has potential.
LA has, but I personally like bringing speakers that would never come to Fresno, California.
Pretty cool.
A lot of these people don't ever get to see these people, and we get to give them an opportunity to see them at a really, really good price.
And dude, that venue, honestly, couldn't have been a better venue. I don't
hard to beat, man.
We looked around, and when this one came up, and realized that it was new, that the venue, like when we went to go check it out in person for the first time, all three of us together, we were like, dude, this is like a legit Las Vegas casino resort event, dude. Like this is the same level. You don't deal with all the smoke that you do at Vegas. Like it was smoke free. That makes it even better. All the amenities were new. The location is beautiful, and the best time we did it in the best time of the year. All the rolling hills, green grass.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The
everything's
sun,
green, bro.
the sun is shining. It's warm, but not too warm, not cold. I honestly couldn't have been better. And the compliments about how beautiful the area was almost endless. So, like that crushed really well.
I think Scott has a good question. What's the best way to develop personal relationships with the speakers? I really liked those guys. What I have done is, like I said, I follow them on Instagram. I engage with all their content. I ask them really good questions. And then it may not be you engage with like one of the speakers who was there, but I go VIP and I engage with all of the VIP guests, because those are the people who are doing deals, are like actively growing their business. And that's where a lot of my connections have come. Because any event I ever go to, I just pay to go VIP because I know I'm going to be in the right room that I want to be in. And I'm paying for friends essentially at that point. That's how I've
kind of climbed the ladder that way, huh?
Yeah. And like that's how I've built those personal relationships with the speakers who we've met. I've paid to go to masterminds, any smaller event. Like even we went to WealthCon, we paid to go VIP. Like I pay to go VIP to meet the people I want to meet. And then generally the speakers are going to be at those VIP events more times than not. And that's how you're going to build those relationships. Just talk to them. And then, and it may not be like an immediate relationship right now, but like these things take time. You just develop them and you just keep in contact.
Yeah.
That's a really
keeping
good
in
point.
contact is important. Yeah. Like you have to like not just meet them. You know, Scott's the one asking this question, but then I say, send them a message on IG afterwards, right? Like their stuff, like you were saying, Stratton, comment and engage with them. And those are the things that we notice over time, dude. You know what I mean? When people do that. And then when we have an ask or you have an ask, there's some familiarity there. So it's not like just a random person that's reaching out to ask. It's like, oh, I remember Scott talking to him at Deal Champs. I see Scott engaging on all my stuff. Right. And then if there's a question or whatever, then you can submit that over and there's going to be familiarity. And then we're more inclined to want to help because it's not just some random person that I don't know. It's like it's a relationship has started to been developed. That's how you do it.
Scott, get them on your podcast. That has been my secret too. Anybody cool who I meet, I bring them on my podcast, and that has been a game changer as far as a relationship builder.
Yeah, I think you guys both said a couple of great points. I think proximity is the first thing. You need to be around them or the other people that are around them. So going the VIP route, I think is a great tactic because now you're around the players that are at the event, people that were willing to invest in themselves. Like you said, a lot of times the speakers. What's up, Greg? We got Greg Hellbeck over here in the IG. What up, buddy? You get a lot of times the speakers at those VIP days or mixers or dinners, and just by connecting with all those people will lead you to a speaker. And sometimes it's the person who is at those VIP is already connected with that person, and they can make the introduction. I know when we were at WealthCon, a perfect example and story. Jason knew Rob Abasola, guy on Bigger Pockets. And I was like, dude, do you mind introducing me? It was going to be a way better introduction and moving into that relationship rather than me just going up cold and being like, yo, hey, I'm Dean. So Jason just was like, hey, have you met my friend Dean? And then I took it over from there and boom, I was on Bigger Pockets as a result. So
it worked out perfectly because I had just, I had just done the podcast. And I remember that we were at like the mixer at WealthCon. And I remember I was like, dude, we got to go over there and introduce you to, it worked out perfectly. That's how it works, guys. It's exactly
that could not be a better example. How do you develop relationships? You build relationships with the people around them, or you have a good warm introduction, or you're putting yourself in that proximity. So that's a perfect example.
And there's real true value, guys. Like once you become really good at building relationships, Then when you become the facilitator or the connector for other people to build relationships, that's next level. So like, think about what we're doing with this event, right? Think about what we're doing with the party. I can't even think about all I was doing at the party afterwards on Saturday was like talking to people and then seeing somebody I knew. And I was like, come here, dude. And then come get with this guy. And then I was setting them up to go talk. And then it was just that the whole time. And when you become the facilitator or the connector of other people, that is like the compounding effect for relationship building. And you see so many amazing things happen after that, right? So get good at establishing relationships first. And then once you start building a strong network, open the doors up for other people within your existing network when you can see that there's a really good synergistic fit there.
Yeah, that's where that abundance mindset kicks in. And it's the law of attraction. People will start coming back to you and it all just starts coming good stuff. So,
yeah. And then Scott, you're already really good at gifts. You were the first person to send me a handwritten letter for coming on your podcast. Like, gifts are an amazing way to continue that relationship. I send a lot of gifts.
Another talent of yours, Stratton.
To people like who are my friends, and I try and make them as thoughtful as possible. And I'm telling you, that explodes that relationship, especially when they see, hey, this was very thoughtful, this was personalized. It'll take that relationship to the next level.
Yeah. Well, let's give Stratton some flowers. You know, there was a special personalized gift idea that Stratton had for all the speakers to get them a picture of them and their family in a framed picture inside of their room as they arrived as a guest, and to have a note along that thanking them for being a speaker. And it was an overwhelming amount of feedback just from that of like, I can't believe you guys did that. That was so special. I remember Nick Perry saying that he FaceTimed his significant other to show what he had received. And it was just like, it was such an impactful thing. It was so simple and easy to do, but it was so thoughtful and made a huge impact. So, you know, Stratton made us all look incredibly good and thoughtful as a result of doing that. Yeah.
Great idea. And then that was a great idea.
Last comment. Shout out the dictator, Jennifer Pritchard, for helping us put everything together.
The dictator. That's going to be her name, the dictator. Bro, she doesn't like to go with the majority vote rule with our deal champs thing. She likes to outweigh everybody.
Bro, she likes to just come in with a fucking hammer. But
shout out to Jen. I didn't realize how I knew she was good with the graphic design talent, but for those of you guys that don't know, I mean, like all the signage, all of the graphics, all of the flyers with every speaker's name, the QR codes, your badges, we would not have had any of that. You guys would have been writing your name down on a sticky name badge and putting it on your chest. That would have been the extent of what you guys got when you came in. So shout out to my better half, Jennifer Pritchard, for helping out.
Yeah. And then shout out Tawny, Marissa, and shout out all the volunteers. And we'll wrap this up. Yeah. The volunteers, guys, we would have not been able to do this without you. We had 15 people give up 3 days of their lives to come out and help us put everything together. It would have never happened. I'm waiting for Jennifer's text message.
Jennifer's dying in the IG chat right now. She's in my IG chat watching, just laughing her ass, all laughing emojis right now. The dictator.
She was the person I needed to work on all the details. I'm the detail organization freak, and neither of you like that kind of stuff. So the fact that there was someone to actually relate to and get into the weeds was helpful.
Jen just said that right now. Interesting how you guys were both in alignment. She goes, Dean was crucial to him. Mr. Detail Man. That was her comment, literally, as you were saying that right now. So yeah, you guys were the ones that wanted every single little detail right. So we just let you guys run the show when it came to that.
Yeah, Stratton said, I don't want any part of this. I'm not going to respond anymore. Yep. I remember.
Yeah.
Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you for all the support. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Peace. Thanks, guys.